When I first started out as a full-time work-from-home entrepreneur, I felt like the days would fly by. And while I was incredibly busy all of the time, I never really felt like I had anything to show for it. My business was stagnant. I wasn't getting new clients and I felt like I was going nowhere. It was so frustrating. And I really began to question my ability as a business owner. Then everything changed. I became super focused on my schedule and productivity. And I've taken this business from barely making ends meet to a 6-figure company that is booked out for the rest of the year. Want to know what I did to go from unfocused busyness to 6-figure business? Then stick around because I'm sharing my top 5 tips for work from home productivity. Want even more of my best branding and business advice specifically for women in business? Subscribe to my channel and click the bell to be notified each time I post a new video. I'm Moriah, the founder and creative director of Moriah Riona Branding, where we help coaches, creatives, and service-based female entrepreneurs build exclusive luxury brands so they can make more money while pursuing their life's passion. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact productivity hacks I use to grow my home-based online business. So let's get started. Have a high-level view of your goals and processes. One of the most important things you can do as an entrepreneur is to have a high-level view of your business, which will dictate what you're doing and why. As I quickly found out after going full-time in my business, it's easy to fill your day with tons of busy work, but never actually accomplish anything meaningful. Instead, zoom out from your business to see the bigger picture. From there, you want to do 2 things. First, determine your top goals. What do you actually want to accomplish in your business? Second, create a to-do list based on those goals. This ensures that you're working towards the big picture each day. For an in-depth look at how I approach goal setting and how I actually accomplish those goals, you have to check out this video. Time management and productivity tips for ambitious entrepreneurs. Have a non-negotiable routine and schedule. This step builds highly on the previous one. Once you know what your goals are and the tasks you need to check off to reach that goal, you need to get ruthless about your routine. Working from home can be a huge distraction. It's easy to fall into the trap of waking up whenever you want, staying in your pajamas all day, and scrolling endlessly on social media between sending out urgent emails. But I think you know that type of work is never going to help you reach your goals. Instead, I highly recommend having set hours in your business, just like you would if you were working for someone else. But I actually take this one step further. I think you should know exactly what you'll be working on every minute of every day and have it all scheduled out ahead of time. There's nothing worse than showing up to work on Monday morning and staring at a blank computer screen, wondering what you should be doing. If you have your week planned out ahead of time, you can move effortlessly from one task to the next, making sure you're checking off those vital tasks that are helping you reach your goals. Honestly, this approach has been one of the biggest catalysts for helping me go from aimless to 6 figures. Get dressed for work. I've actually talked about this before, but this one, while it might seem trivial, is huge for me. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely still days where I jump straight into work without showering or doing my makeup, usually wearing athleisure wear or something closely resembling pajamas. And while I still get a lot done because I am very strict about following my work schedule, I never seem to get out of a pajama mindset on those days. I've noticed that the days where I'm truly the most productive and really leaning into my full potential are the ones where I'm showing up dressed for the job I want and have creative director and CEO of my own company. So if you're someone who's been working in your sweatpants since you started your work from home routine, I encourage you to just try it out and see if it feels different. Give me a thumbs up if you're gonna get dressed up for work tomorrow. Have a designated workspace. Just like getting dressed for work, having a designated workspace also helps you get in the right frame of mind to stay productive. I actually talked about this in detail when I was interviewed for the Pro Organizer Studio podcast a few years years back. I shared my story about when I first started out in my business and I was renting a place with another roommate. The only space that was my own was my bedroom, which also served as my office and my art studio since I was also in art school at the time. I remember spending hours on my small laptop in my bed and the inability to unwind at night because my bed had turned into my office. That's why I think it's so important to have a dedicated space to work. Ever since going full-time as an entrepreneur, I have always had an office in my home, 5 different homes since then actually, where I would work. There's something very significant about turning off your computer and shutting your office door at the end of the day. I no longer carry my work with me, mentally or otherwise, throughout the rest of my day. If you don't have a dedicated room that you can use as an office, find some place that can serve a dual purpose as a workspace. Just make sure it's somewhere you can step away from when your day is done. Eliminate distractions. I learned early on that distractions are the bane of entrepreneurial life. They can be subtle, but they're insidious, often sneaking in and taking over before you ever notice. For me, one of the biggest distractions was social media because it always felt so necessary for my business. But when I actually looked at the numbers, I realized that my social media use was doing way more harm than good. So I quit. I closed my Facebook sometime in 2021. I actually don't even remember when because I haven't missed it at all. I also took Instagram off my phone and only accessed it a few times a week from my desktop browser. Since then, I've seen a massive surge in my productivity. But even better than that, I'm completely focused on what I'm doing. I'm no longer wondering what every other entrepreneur in my industry is up to and if their latest launch is only an indication of my inevitable failure. Okay, I'm being a bit dramatic, but the comparison trap on Instagram was very real for me. I'm so glad to be rid of it. In one of my favorite books, Deep Work, the author Cal Newport, a productivity genius who is a full-time professor at a prestigious university and has also carved out the time to become a New York Times best-selling author, introduces the idea of the craftsman approach to tool selection. Basically, he implores us to be highly selective about the tools or distractions that we allow into our environment and only select those that have a significant benefit to our work. Of social media in particular, Newport goes on to say, these services aren't necessarily as advertised, the lifeblood of our modern connected world. They can be fun, but in the scheme of your life and what you want to accomplish, they're a lightweight whimsy, one unimportant distraction among many, threatening to derail you from something deeper. If you want to learn more about eliminating distractions in general so you can focus on your life's real work, I highly recommend getting the book. It's one of my favorite recent reads. I've linked it down in the description below. Also, if you'd like to know more about how I quit social media and nearly doubled my income, let me know in the comments. I'm thinking about making a video about that next. Now you know some of the biggest steps I took in my own business to help me go from distracted busyness to focused success, which no doubt helped me go from barely making ends meet to a 6-figure entrepreneur. Another one of the most impactful things I did to help me reach that elusive 6-figure mark was to reposition my business as a luxury brand. If you're ready to start attracting high-ticket clients for your service-based business, then you have to check out my free guide, 7 Steps to a Luxury Brand. The link is in the description down below. You should also watch this video that just popped up. If you liked this video, hit that thumbs up below and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.